And we're live. Yay, we're live. Another day in the life of a aerial photographer. We're heading out to Rialto. If you don't know where Rialto is, God bless you. We're headed out east, where we belong. That's all I got to say. Apparently there's some kind of bad crash out there, and I just realized we got bugged because I'm facing the camera forward. You can call it a bug. I call it a beauty mark. Going out west where I belong. Wow, look at that. That's synchronicity. They're talking about Rialto. Did you hear that? Yeah, apparently they're in Rialto. Maybe they saw the crash and that's the reason why we're going. Oh, it's not that far. Why did I think it was past the 215? All right, I'm going to pick Oh, that's the reason why, Stu, you're a dummy. Dummy. Big dummy. There we go. I'm going to pick 10 freeway and 10 freeway and 10 freeway and Riverside. There we go. We will be there in just under 30 minutes. Skyvox to anybody that might care. We will be there under 30 minutes, but probably right around 25 minutes away. Okay, Stu, thank you. You guys rock. Be safe out there. Bum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum. Whoa. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. labor dispute. Oh, we're there yet? Got to get our Inland Empire viewers to be like, oh wow, hey look, Fox cares. Jeremy's, Michael's. I got nothing. Ugh. Oh, that's probably the reason why we're going. Why don't they have that? Blah. Maybe we should go. Maybe we. No, 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 not at all. This is just an accident. But boy, it's creating some backup. Ay, kabumba. Yeah. Shut the whole freeway down. Good. Yeah. Yep. We are about 10 minutes away. What the heck is? still have us? Yay, got us. Sweet. We don't have to borrow a mountaintop. That's what I was worried about. Got it, cool, thanks. All right, the backup starts. Where are we? Far away. The backup starts before or right after Cherry. That's weird because I was thinking about 10 and Cherry when we got the call for this. Boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Boy, that's a pretty picture, isn't it? It's beautiful out here. Beautiful. Yes, of course I can, and good morning. The machine says like 3 minutes. Okay, that gives us some time to figure out what's going on out there too. All I know is, well, I think it's only one side is shut down now. It's some sort of hazmat. That's all I know. This is the 10 freeway, and we're in the beautiful city of Rialto. Thank you. They're taking everybody off. I'll be able to read it when we get there. They're taking everybody off at Cedar. Westbound lanes are shut down. These are east and west, and it is the eastbound lanes that are shut down. Eastbound lanes that are shut down. And we got all kinds of bugs all over the lens. Ugh. It's that time of the season. I still haven't seen the accident. And they're letting you back on at Riverside. I have a feeling it's right, whatever it is, I bet you it's right behind the tree. Or are they opening the freeway back up? This makes no sense at all. slow down just a little bit, even though I know we're rushing to get somewhere. I just don't understand what we're looking at because people are getting onto the on-ramp. All right, it's not there. Got a tow truck right there. Do you see anything? Yeah, that's a tow truck with a truck tow truck. I think whatever it is has been cleared, but whatever. Let's see, hang on. Whatever it was, and they've already cleared it. Something happened, and that's what's left of it is right here. Unless it rolled off the side of the road, but I don't see that either. Maybe it's right, so I can't. Nope. Be careful, we're going into saddle. I guess they lost us when you made that turn. Just be a little bit more limo driver, less news pilot. Well, we're pretty far out, and also, I mean, I don't know, do we have an altitude restriction? I know I hate to say it, but yeah, let's bump it up a little bit just so they have our picture. I don't know what is going on here. I think they're working right here. Yeah, and it looks like they're just getting ready to start letting cars back on. Because and it's definitely going to be better looking this way than looking into the sun. Let me see if this thing is starting to do something. Are they picking up the cones? Yes, they're picking up the cones. This is over. Skyvox, anybody that can hear us and or care, I'm just letting you know we'll happily report on the good news that whatever happened out here, they are picking up the cones and they're going to open up the freeway here shortly, but that's what's going on. Whatever it was is no more, and they're getting ready to reopen the freeway. I was just told it was Hazmat. And whatever it was has been cleared. The only thing that's left is, and I mean, it'll be nicer for television, but is that. I have a feeling that that was part of it. But other than that, they're picking up the cones, and they're going to start letting the cars back onto the freeway here in a moment. But I'll happily do the report. I mean, it's good news. I like good news. All right. Copy. That's all right. Got bugs on the lens. Good. Even better. Scooping up the cones. Copy all. Just park somewhere in here, please. Pretty please. Yeah, just park. You better get out of the way. Oh, look at that. Woof. Tragedy averted. He probably heard us. Those CHP guys are like, I'm going to make you guys wait. Copy all. We gotta work on those sponsors. They gotta be quicker. We're missing all the good stuff. I'm joking. That's sarcasm. Here we go. Oh. Yeah, they're going to be gone. Hey, good morning, everybody. We made our way out to Rialto. There was a crash out here on the 10 freeway at Riverside in the Rialto area. Now, apparently it was some sort of hazmat situation. At one time, east and westbound lanes were completely shut down while the fire department was working to clear that hazmat situation. When we arrived out here, the eastbound lanes that we are seeing right there still were closed. But just moments ago, we watched as they started picking up the cones over here at Cedar. That's where they were taking everybody off, and now you can see the traffic starting to flow again on that eastbound lane. Now the westbound lanes, they opened up earlier on, but whatever the problem was out here in the Rialto area, it has been solved. But as far as that backup goes, if this is part of your drive this morning, definitely give yourself extra time. This is going to take more than a few minutes to get all that backup to really start to move along on those eastbound lanes out here in the Rialto area. I'm Stu up in Skyfox. Back to you guys in the studio. Was Melissa talking at me? Thank you. Melissa, the radios, we are pretty far out. It's a lot of static in the background. Were you giving me information about the story, or were you saying that somebody else is going to take us? Or maybe she wasn't talking at all. Maybe she wasn't saying anything at all. Okay, I heard Skyfox. What's up, Melissa? Copy all, Encino. Probably a good solid 35 minutes away. On our way. It was. I had a great time. How often do we get out to Rialto? Come on now. I have no idea what the Encino thing is, and I'm going to ask for IFB once we get closer to the civilization. They moving us around? Oh, I see him over there. Is that? Oh, it is a plane. If I could do it all again, that would have also been something I should have really. I would have loved to fly cargo. And you get to go all over the world. That's what I look at it. You know what I mean? I'm almost thinking maybe we should just set it down in El Monte real quick, and then I'll just jump out and clean the lens. I don't know what the Encino thing is. Wow, an old Supra. Oh, it's a double homicide. Broken window in the back of the house. Okay, Gigi. What? Pomona, Ontario, Upland. You want us to go to Harupa Valley? Text me the address. We'll go to, turn around. We're going to Harupa. I think it's actually south of us. I'm not sure anymore. Give me a second. I hope I heard her right, because if there's the heading. Yeah, it's turning around for sure, and it's south of us. Just, you want to reverse course, we got to go back the other way. I'm sure they're going to be okay with it. Really? We're going for a traffic problem in Harupa Valley. Okay. Traffic collision. 60 and Country Village. Okay, what would you like us to do, Melissa? The pursuit. Make another U-turn, sir. Sorry, Chris. It's not me, clearly. I know. I'm not saying it to you, but this is kind of having problems with the tower over here. Well, you're telling them. Now we're turning around. We're going to Van Nuys. There's a pursuit. Yeah, we're turning around again. Yeah, you didn't hear that. That's what I, there you go. There you go. This is going to have to be a really long pursuit because we are probably a good 20 minutes away from Van Nuys, unless he gets on the freeway and he starts heading east. Yeah, we are 25 minutes away from Van Nuys. And I'm not even going to try to start listening till we get over the hill there, Kellogg Hill, because the scanner, the antenna, I don't even know if there is an antenna. I'm waiting for Melissa to say it's over. I'm sure if we really look, we could probably find an incident out on State Line somewhere if you really want to, you know. Barstow, yeah, yeah. Eastbound 60 at Van Buren. I'm just reading out loud. We're not going there. Cal Fire is responding to this. The truck is hanging off the embankment. Ooh, maybe that's what it's all about. All right, let me see if I can start hearing this thing. Wilshire. I got crickets on the scanner. Moy just texted me that there's a pursuit in Van Nuys. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for. Boom, boom, boom. Excuse me? Flying with a baby, bring a head of lettuce. That's a new one. I don't think that's information for you, Chris. If you're flying with a baby, bring a head of lettuce. Air 7's tearing it up. Like a relentless lead. I still haven't heard a peep on Van Nuys. Do I have this thing on the right stuff? Yeah, I do. Van Nuys. Oh, there we go. All right. From Van Owen, yeah, West Hollywood. I mean, North Hollywood, North Hollywood. Eastbound Sherman Way. Eastbound Sherman Way. Eastbound Sherman Way from Haskell. So it's right by the airport. It's like right by the airport. Firmament. He's on Hart Street. No, Hart goes on the other side of the airport too. I was going to say, he's going to crash through the gate and crash into our hangar. Okay, he's back over heading towards Van Owen again. Archwood. These are like residentials. Yep. Back on Van Owen. Yep. Sepulveda. He's making good time. There should be a lot of traffic out there. Maybe it's a motorcycle. Well, that sucks. We had it nice and clear for a few minutes, and now it's all static again. Play with the squelch, maybe. Van Owen and Noble. Eight minutes. Van Owen and Cedros. He's over by the Van Nuys High School. I heard Kester. Heartland? We'll be there as soon as it's over. Yep. Well, come on. With that attitude, Stu, stop it. Okay, I'll stop it. I can't make out what she's saying. We'll figure it out. Just go where all the other helicopters are. Oh, I heard the word suspect. Northbound Cedros. So he's still on the same street Van Nuys High School's on. Copy that. Back on to Kester. About 5 minutes. About. I can't make out anything. It's just all static. I love this helicopter. Can't make out any. Wrong side of the road. I don't know where they are though. Okay. Hey, we're still about 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away. Maybe we'll get. Pardon me? Burbank. Forest Lawn. What happened? Something at an intersection. Tobias. Van Owen and Tobias? Okay. Yes, I do. Not a problem. Yep, got it. Just want to get there. Then my mood will totally change. About 3 minutes. Archwood and Kester. This is for our CBS friends. Terminate the pursuit. Oh. The LAPD just said that, but that doesn't mean that we're not stopping, trust me. Wrong side of the road on Kester. Northbound Kester. I don't know. Kester and Heartland. Kester and Sherman Way. Eastbound Sherman Way. Eastbound Sherman Way. If you make a right, maybe we can get them to intercept us. I'm trying to find the helicopters. That's the church. That's Kester and Sherman Way. Approaching Van Nuys. Southbound Van Nuys Boulevard. All right, I got the PD ship. He's coming towards us. Okay. Yep, I understand. What's at the hospital? Vesper and Van Owen. Oh, jeez. Westbound Van Owen. Let me bring this up. Westbound Van Owen. Towards Cedros. There's Cedros. Okay, he's going the other way. He's got a flat tire. Whoa, what's going on there? Northbound Kester from Van Owen. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm trying to find the car. Thank you. He just made a turn on Hart. He's going off to the right. Sorry. Turning towards us. There he is. Coming up onto Sepulveda. Turning on Sepulveda. Is this Van Owen? This is Van Owen. He's on Van Owen. Looks like he's slowing down to make another turn. Oh, red light, hard turn. He turned on Kester. Okay. I don't doubt it. You're doing a great job, Chris. Thank you. I hear you. He's making blocks, dude. He's doing the same one that he did a few moments ago. What? Well, apparently he's got guns in the car, so they're not going to do that. Yeah, they are chasing him. Trust me. They're not going to let this guy go. He's heavily armed, apparently. Coming back out to a major. Van Nuys. Back onto Van Nuys. Oop, 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 oop. Whoa, hard turn. Is this a dead end? No, it's not. Oh, it's a T intersection. T intersection, T intersection. Well, okay, I guess we're not going to put this. I was waiting to put this on television, but if we're on YouTube, then I'm going to start Okay. I know we're on YouTube, though. That's the reason why. Well, we got a pursuit going on out here in the Van Nuys area, and that person driving that white vehicle that you're seeing right there is armed and dangerous. And this is per somebody that was inside the vehicle earlier on. I'm trying to pick up pieces exactly what was going on before this pursuit, but apparently they dropped somebody off moments ago at the hospital. That vehicle continues to drive very erratically and very fast out here, and you can see now we're losing it behind some trees. But as far as LAPD is concerned, they are basically have backed off just a little bit, but the driving has not gotten any better. The helicopter above is the one making the calls. I can tell you we're at Sherman Way and Kester. Now, apparently he dropped somebody off at that hospital that's over here off of Sherman Circle. So maybe he's going back to this location. Since Skyvox has been over it, we've been basically making blocks in that same neighborhood. Had a lot of close calls with other vehicles on the roadway. You can see some of those speeds out there. This is early morning, and this is not the time to be driving that fast. A lot of folks out here dealing with a lot of traffic, not expecting somebody to be coming up on you at 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. Coming back up onto Van Nuys Boulevard, making that turn, heading over to the south. But again, as far as LAPD is concerned, they are nearby. They are not directly behind him, because just think about it. If you had this vehicle driving at these high speeds and then you had other officers trying to keep up and then also concerned about public safety, it would be almost a disaster. So right now, though, the helicopter calling it out, officers on the ground nearby and staging and ready to take this person down. But this is the second time that we've seen him make this turn right here. He's going to come up, I believe this is a T intersection, so he's coming back over here to Vesper, and this is basically the same area. He's just driving around in circles, heavily armed, so very dangerous, and the driving techniques also extremely dangerous. Whoa. No, he's just getting, he's getting air. He's over those speed bumps and then through some of these intersections. That little car definitely got a little bit of air right there. You know, and the only thing is when that happens, if there's something around, you know, no traction on the ground, that could be a disaster. It could be a real problem. Hopefully this vehicle does not collide with anybody or another vehicle. That is my biggest fear right now. This person being armed and clearly not in the best frame of mind. That's what the officers are worried about also. But right now you can see this vehicle continuing 60 miles an hour this morning on Kester. If you know this area, you know these are very tight streets and very, very busy, especially at this time of the morning. Got to do a commercial. Somebody's got to pay the bills. Anyways. Anything. We need to, every penny counts. Skyvox isn't, we ain't cheap. Anyways, if we're still up on YouTube, I'll wrap with y'all for a few minutes, right? Look, this is one of those deals where LAPD, they've just got to back off. Now, when you think that, you're thinking, oh, they just gave up on this guy and they're just going to let him run amok. That is not the case at all. The PD helicopter definitely over it. As far as Skyfox goes, you know, just a little aviation talk. Chris is at the tiller today, and we are between two airspaces, and believe me, we're not up here alone. So he's working to get the best shots that he can and keeping us safe, and then separation from all the other aircraft on the ground, the helicopters, you know. And that was the thing, too. I don't want to lose it, but there were just people standing out there like basically watching this, because he really is making, you know, maybe not, you know, racetracks by any means, but he's definitely staying on these same roads. He has not left the Van Nuys area. Van Owen seems to be one of his favorites, Van Nuys Boulevard, and then all these little side streets in between. Where he's going, what's he's doing, come on, how would I possibly know that? I don't even think that dude knows what, or gal knows what's going on. This vehicle just continues to move at these really high speeds. These center lane moves, I don't like them. And then, again, anybody's just driving out there today, they're not expecting this. Look at that. You've got all these people, so they know this is coming. This is not the first time this car has gone through this neighborhood. What this is all about, I couldn't even venture to guess. But right now, though, though, a lot of people with their phones out, a lot of activity down there. Almost every intersection has people that are expecting it. There you go, LAPD re-engaging right down there. You've got a number of the black and whites behind them. When they can, I'm sure they will, and have those lights and sirens. Okay, copy all. Guys and gals on YouTube, just remember, we are live on Fox. If you guys are local, turn on channel 11. Okay. Copy all. Right by Van Nuys High School. Oh, it's going to be tree lined. Oh, I could have been talking some more. Hey, we're still following this pursuit in the Van Nuys area, going right by Van Nuys High School, my alma mater. But now the LAPD is actually behind this vehicle as well. Number of units, lights, and sirens, trying to warn the public the best that they can. Sky Fox, we're moving around. We're doing a lot of maneuvering and trying to get you those best shots, especially on some of these tree-lined roads. But look at those speeds, and that's going to be on Cedros. That's a little tiny road. Now he's going to be coming back up on Kester. That's going to be a light hitting those speed bumps and getting just a little bit of air. He's kind of really moving quick. I know Kester's coming up quickly there. Usually a red light, especially when I'm driving. Well, this time it was a green. Look at that, making that turn back onto Van Owen. Sorry, not Kester, Van Owen. And again, those speeds, they continue to pick up, and officers on the ground doing what they can to stay nearby, warn the public, and keep anybody in the area alerted of what's happening. Now we're on Kester Boulevard. This vehicle has basically stayed in the same neighborhood the entire time this has been going on. These high speeds, I'm sure they're getting a lot of attention. We've actually seen a lot of folks at intersections that kind of are expecting the vehicle to come back around. Making a turn now. This is going to be on one of the side streets out here. I think we were here earlier on, especially when we just went live. But again, that person driving that vehicle very recklessly also apparently is armed and dangerous. And that information, I'm working to figure out exactly how this is all comes together, but apparently dropped somebody off at the hospital. I believe this is a dead end. I think this one is a dead end or no outlet, or not. It's just a T intersection, somebody's saying. So at any rate, keeping an eye on it. This vehicle continues to move around the area out here. Van Nuys is where we are. We have not left the Van Nuys proper area. Side streets, major intersections, all of it. We have been basically touring the area. That vehicle continues to drive at high speeds, very dangerous for the public. And of course, LAPD still concerned to coming out on Sepulveda right there, or Van Owen. Why do I keep missing the Van Owen? But at any rate, making his move right there once again. Now, officers definitely concerned about the public safety. That is their biggest concern, that safety of the person behind that wheel. Believe it or not, they do care about his safety as well, or hers. We're not having any kind of confirmation. But again, you can see that vehicle moving around 60 miles an hour, busy streets out here in the morning. Now we're back on to Kester, and that's what we've been talking about. He's just basically making these big blocks through these neighborhoods and then joining on to these major roads out here in the Van Nuys area. Again, though, the vehicle continues. There's the LAPD helicopter. That's the guy calling out the streets, making sure that the officers on the ground know exactly where that suspect is. It's actually very scary to watch. Right now we're going by the hospital, and I believe that it was where the area, or right in this area, is where apparently he dropped somebody off earlier on, making a turn. He's going to be behind these buildings right here. You know what? That's the hospital in the shot right there. I'm going to see if we can make sure we get back over it. I'm going to keep an eye out right there and there. I believe he just made another turn. So, again, he just kind of picking these random streets out here. Those high speeds definitely not helping, and you are definitely correct. The officers do not want any of the public to actually even come out or try and help in any type of way, even if it's positive or negative. They just don't want the public near this person, especially the fact that, you know, those high speeds, like you said, coming around a hard turn like that, he could lose control, and you've got people standing there. Also, this person is armed and dangerous, clearly not in the best frame of mind right now, so we don't know what the goal is. And again, wrong side of the road right there and on Kester, and just continuing to move along. You know, this is really scary stuff. And again, a lot of these people, they just don't know what's going on, and we're just making blocks out here. We are just literally making blocks in this neighborhood. Is this person trying to get somebody's attention in this neighborhood? All these questions, hopefully we'll get some answers, and hopefully this will come to an end peacefully out here in the Van Nuys area. Well, you know, they have policies down there, and safety right now is one of LAPD's. That's like top of the list for these guys. A lot of traffic right here. Kind of curious what he's going to try to do. So, you know, officers, to keep up with this person at driving at those erratic speeds, you just got to figure, he's backing up. He's going to be cutting through the Rite Aid or whatever that is, right, Walgreens. You know, so, but officers are not going to they're not going to match that energy, because they're going to have to keep up and be safe at the same time. When they can, they will. Are they nearby? Most definitely. If this thing comes to an end somehow, officers will instantly appear. I can almost guarantee that. What the purpose is, my goodness, I just couldn't even begin to figure out or wonder what they're doing. Last time he took this street right here. Let's see if he does it again. It does look like we're basically taking that same street again. So I believe this is going to be Vos, and we're just making our way. Sorry, we're on Vesper. We're on Vesper, and Vos was the cross street. So, anyways, continuing on again. 75 miles an hour, residential neighborhood. I hope there's no pets out there. I hope there's no people out there. Coming back up to another major, that's going to be Van Owen, and basically just making these blocks out here. You know, you'd think, well, maybe officers could put the spike strips out or something like that. Not at 70 miles an hour, not with an armed suspect behind the wheel. And again, what if that driver sees those officers? What if that driver tries to target an officer? They just don't want to set up for that type of situation. But as he continues making his way by that dairy right here, this little drive-through dairy off of Kester, you know, we see the people standing out there. We see the cell phones out there. Hopefully nobody tries to get any closer to the vehicle. But again, this chase just continues out here in the Van Nuys area. That vehicle moving along at high speeds. Thank goodness he hasn't hit anybody. But the longer this goes, those odds, they're just going to get higher and higher. Copy. Okay. Well, you know, that's right. And, you know, I was wondering exactly what hospital they kept talking about. There's many in this area. I just got information, solid information, that it's Valley Presbyterian. So apparently it started at Valley Presbyterian Hospital. And whoever this person dropped off at the hospital, unknown if they're injured, unknown what the circumstances are, but that was the person that said, the driver inside that vehicle, armed and dangerous. multiple guns is actually the word that they use, not just one. And so that was the reason why LAPD got behind him or was trying to stop this vehicle. But you can see that erratic driving, and then of course you factor in the fact that this person may be armed or probably is armed, and whatever the reasons are, you know, this just makes a very, very dangerous situation for the public. LAPD, they're doing what they can to kind of keep everybody alert about what's going on. And you are correct. He stays in these same, we're basically in that same neighborhood. We have not left Van Nuys proper since this pursuit is started, and it just continues on out there. You can see that vehicle making those wide turns. He's been very, very lucky with traffic, except for that one time that you mentioned where he actually had to back up to get to a parking lot, because it seems like this person is playing this game of playing this game of, I got to keep this car moving or there's going to be a problem, because we have yet to see this vehicle actually stop. It's always moving. It's at high speeds, not so high speeds, wrong side of the road. Look at that. Just imagine it's your loved one is driving along on the road right there on Van Owen, and then all of a sudden you've got this car barreling down double the speed limit heading right for him. These are dangerous situations. They are not cool at all. And of course, LAPD, they're doing what they can. But what can you do? You can't pit this guy because you can't get your vehicles close enough and those high speeds. You can't get in front of him because this person possibly armed, and this erratic driving, who knows? Maybe he's going to see that officer with the spike strips and then maybe target that person. So, officer, so yeah, this is one of those ones where, you know, the policy basically is to back off. They have. The driving hasn't changed. The erraticness hasn't changed. The danger limit actually seemed to have gotten worse. So they are doing what they can right now. We're keeping an eye on it as well. If you know somebody that's in the Van Nuys area, I would at least try. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. And, you know, you know, and there's some irony there too. That's the DMV is like literally right there at that corner. But at any rate, this vehicle continues on, and I don't want to take my eyes off of the car, and we move by so quickly. But do you see all those people as we zip by, standing on the sidewalks, and they have their cell phones out? So it's almost like maybe it's the attention, but I've yet to really actually see that. We've had these discussions with people in the past about why people run. And, you know, the 15 minutes of fame theory, really, I have yet to hear somebody say, that's the reason why I ran. There's a dead end, and this is where it's going to get a little spicy, because you've got officers right there as well. And if, okay, all right, because I just was afraid that he was going to ram a vehicle or put an officer in a spot. Okay, so, but... Yep. Idaho plates. Well, you know, Why is he slowing down? He's slowing down. He's slowing down. He's slowing down. I have a feeling he's running out of gas. Yeah. He's yeah. And you know, the vehicle, it's a little Buick is what it is, and it also has Idaho plates. Now this is where my camera work is going to get a little. I'm going to have to stay a little bit wider, be a little bit more trigger happy for the zoom. Okay, the doors are opening. And hands are out. Okay, so that's definitely a plus. That's and it seems like this driver complying, or actually kind of knows what the drill is. You know, wasn't even really waiting for the officers to make those calls. I'm venturing to say that car gave up before the driver did. Getting out, whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, we don't want to see any of that. Getting a little closer there, you can see that person basically knows the drill. I would venture to say those officers are probably not that fast in the, you know, hands where you can see them walk back towards us. But definitely making those moves right now. Doesn't seem to have anything on his person, but definitely now starting to follow those directions. You know, this is probably the best ending that we could have hoped for, is that vehicle just kind of ran out of gas right there. Of course, he doesn't have the cuffs on as of yet, but again, you've got a lot of people out here, like you mentioned. I'm going to take my eyes off the suspect for just a moment. That's what you were talking about. All these folks, they kind of knew this car was coming around the corner, has been in the neighborhood all morning, and so they were out here getting the video that they can, but it's all coming to an end right there, that person doing the asphalt angel, as we would call it, and so far it has been a calm ending to a very crazy pursuit. And you got to hand it to these officers as well. You know, anybody that's ever been in that type of situation, you know, these are officers, these are people, these are human beings, and believe me, they have adrenaline rushes, they get tunnel vision, they have everything that you and I might have in those type of high stress situations, and to keep it together like that, and to follow the rules, and basically stay calm in all this kind of crazy. You got to give them props. Officers approaching the vehicle before cuffing, which is also a little unusual, just to make sure that there's nobody probably in that vehicle. But again, just going to wait for those cuffs to go on, and then they're going to call this over, or code 4, as law enforcement calls it. There it goes. Right. Definitely. And it was about, yeah. Copy all, still live on KCAL. And if we're still up on YouTube, just letting you guys know that they might be doing a gunpowder residue test. You see that officer with the bag right there? So if they bag his hands, that might be what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe it's just an evidence bag. Who the heck knows? But at any rate, you got officers down there. They're trying to figure out who's going to frisk him, what car he's going to go into, all that other officer stuff. Yeah. Well, no, the other officers are touching his hand, so I don't think they're going to be doing gunshot residue. Nope, it's just going to be for evidence. So I really kind of wonder what this was all about, to be honest with you. It was interesting as all get out. This was basically, we were touring my teenage neighborhood. This is where I grew up, all this area, pretty much all the streets where he was going down. I had driven many, many times. But at any rate, enough of that. The pursuit came to an end. Thank goodness nobody was hurt. I also found it interesting. It has Idaho plates on that vehicle. Wonder if it's a rental or maybe this person is from Idaho. Who knows? But at any rate, they are taking this guy into custody on Van Owen near Cedros. And clearly, you know, he's not combative, but he's definitely talkative. So I just kind of curious what this was all about. Hey, thank you guys for joining us on this chase. Glad we could give it to you. It's been a minute, and we always love the love. If you can find me on the internet, please do. You can follow me on Instagram. That's my favorite. It's Stu Mundel, M-U-N-D-E-L. We're not the rich Mundels or the Mandels or the Mindels or any of those other guys. We're the working class. And we'll watch this guy as he goes into custody, and then I'm going to go talk to my assignment desk. And I think we stay up with Jeremy's leveling out. So if you guys were watching us on leveling out, you got it before anybody else did. Huge props for you. Thank you, guys. We're still with KCal. Copy. Copy all. Woo! Skyvox Simon test. Should we go to Harupa now for the vehicle hanging off the side? Window in the back. Got it. All right. Was that a Melissa text or was that a... It was a Melissa text. I'm going to give you an address. It's off of White Oak in Encino. I don't know exactly where, though. 4757. Yeah, it's going to be very close. We are done here. There you go. Oh, you don't have the box. There you go. So that pursuit yesterday kind of, you know, got me back into practice. Lowe's sent me a text. My buddy Jason Kramer says good morning, probably because he knows we were flying over his house all morning. I think we would have got a little more love. No love. No love. Copy, thank you, got it. Assignment desk, 4757 White Oak. We are 2 minutes away. dabble, do you? We're not there yet. All right, Simon Dest, the tower is telling us to keep moving. Don't worry about it. We're going to come back. There's some aircraft on approach. After that, we will be back looking, but that is the house, and we know that's the house. Don't freak out. We're coming back. Just give us a minute. All right, apparently there's some broken windows in the back of this home. I don't know what side is the back, and I don't know. So let's just kind of like park and look at all the windows. I don't know. I mean, somebody must have gotten the shot. So let's see if we can find it. Because I can't see anybody getting it. Like, if that's the back, I mean, how are you going to get that? There's a sliding glass door that's not broken. Is that a broken sliding glass door? No. No, it's not. Is that a broken sliding glass door? No, it's not. I like all the windows. It's a very beautiful home. It's a shame. Not a broken window? Nope. Maybe it's over here. That would be me, more irritable. Let's see, maybe the pool house? Nope. Maybe right there. I would venture to say that's the broken window. There we go. Of course, the last one, but it's okay. At least we found it. Skyvox, Simon Dest, there's your broken window. Broken window. I think it's a broken window. Maybe it's not a broken window. Maybe they already replaced it? Oh, it is. Is it not there? Okay. Yes, cortisol. I don't like my cortisol. Pardon me? I doubt it. All right, Simon Desk, I believe we have documented the home and the broken window. Copy all. Return to base, sir. Return to base. I'm probably going to have to pull the card out. Skyvox, TOC, we're going to be landing at Van Nuys, going to knock it down. Copy all.